Hey Ranger Nation, welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be talking about Power Rangers episode 12 and 13 from the international spoilers. Now, I did do previous videos talking about what happens, but this one is going to be a quick one to kind of like sum up my major thoughts and some of the major plot lines. So again, I will say this, give it a few minutes. If you do not want to watch this video because of spoilers, then obviously and come back later on when you've watched the American version, but I'm going to give you a little bit of time. It's also windy because it's hot in the UK, and we've got fans to keep it cool. It's a thing. Anyway, that's enough time right there. So, kind of adding these two episodes together, I didn't realize how fun it was and how it made me want to watch the English version so much more, because right now I want to watch the entire series in one go, because this is an absolutely amazing 2 episodes to bring you in. And I feel like if they did this to end it, like say before we had the next drop, so if they did this in episode 11, I guaranteed a lot of us right now would be wanting all of this straight away, like 100%, like going crazy for it. So in episode 12, it kind of breaks down as pretty much as what was said originally with what I read, and kind of seeing it all pieced together makes a lot more sense than looking at, say, clips or pictures. So I kind of like this, and I feel like there's so much history in this. There's a scene where the 2 Buzz Blast reporters are looking over old footage, and I think that they see stuff for Dino Henge, but when you look at the paper that it's actually on, you've got like old adverts, stuff like that, that you would see back, you know, buy this suit or buy these x-ray visions, or, you know, mind reading glasses, or something like that, which I generally thought was a fantastic thing. I think what I generally do like about this is when you do see the Beast Morpher Rangers actually fighting, and it does look obviously like it's Sentai, but the way that they've color corrected it much later on actually kind of like shows that it looks like they've shot it originally, which did make me kind of think of like, why couldn't they just use suits for stuff, or use like the kias and the, you know, the grunts and the excitement that they use from the series and put it in when they're actually using it to fight, because I think that would be kind of cool. But seeing this, like Commander Shaw explaining that this new monsters come in, and then seeing like Lord Zed's back, and everyone's like, what the hell, Lord Zed? So seeing all this, like him looking in, he didn't destroy everything, but he looked directly at the camera, as I said, and he blasts it with an energy blast. And I was just like, I think that's really, really freaking cool. Now, I'm like, there's a part in this which makes me kind of go, huh, what the hell? Is where you have Lokar, or like Satan Minotaur, whatever his name is, who is the son of Lokar. He comes into the base and he starts attacking the statues, and the Rangers don't know anything about it. It's like, huh? What the hell? Why have we got this? And I thought, wouldn't your sensors kind of be like detected? Like, oh, you're having energy blasts. So maybe the monster is like, maybe my energy can't be detected. But rather than blasting the statues, why not just go and punch each one and destroy it? Because obviously if you can like destroy things, you could easily do it. Or grow large, as we see in this episode where he activates his enlargement ray, and he doesn't just step on the rocks, which would be a thing that I would do, to be like, hey, I'm gonna do this. So I'm guessing like one of the main things is, I don't think it's explained, obviously I don't know if it is or isn't, but Amelia has all the documents that says Bigfoot, ghosts and stuff, and she has one about her parents. And I was looking when they were opening this and going through it, and I was just like, oh, so they haven't put any clues where you could see a little bit, like maybe you could see a little bit of who her father was. You just see her as a child. But I love the fact that they're now exploring Area 62, and this was at the very beginning of episode 12, where they're like, oh, okay, man, let's go look around. And Pop obviously doesn't like the fact that they're there, so I generally really thought, oh, hang on a minute, maybe this is a big thing much later on that they're going to talk about or they're going to go see. But for Amelia to like paranormal stuff, why haven't they gone and looked at this earlier? This would be the one thing that I would always go and look at. You know, and now that you've got powers, if you needed them, you could do. And that was it mainly for that entire episode. One thing I did mention in the previous episode, in my previous video, I think it was on episode 12, is like there is a girl that you see, and this is one of the Buzz Blasts, and it's kind of weird that Ollie is going to give her flowers, but I think it's actually a misdirection. And he has it and he's going to give it to Amelia and stuff like that. So I was a bit kind of on that one. But I'm looking forward to watching this one in English. So let's jump to episode 13. Now, episode 13 is all about Ollie and Amelia kind of getting together and stuff like that, and kind of like expressing their feelings and stuff like that. Now, when I kind of saw the opening where Ollie's got some flowers and it looks like he's going to ask this girl out, it just didn't seem right. Like, it felt like this part was kind of forced for it, where you're meant to kind of be like, oh, hey, maybe he was meant to give it straight to Amelia. But from when I'm kind of like skipping through and watching it, it just seems to be very kind of like, oh, Amelia, you're the side girl, or you're not the main important one until like much later on. So it kind of feels a little bit weird that he would go there, or maybe that he's meant to give this to Amelia, but all the others like, oh, actually, I'm kind of going to be asking this other girl out instead. So it's kind of a bait and switch in some way. But I like the fact that with Area 62, you have like Scrozzle and Zed return, and everyone's like, Lord Zed! And then suddenly like Zed's like, yeah, I brought this guy, and then Scrozzle's like, and I'm here too! And I generally was just like, that's kind of really awesome. So with this, later on after a lot of talk, I'm not going to go too much into it right now, because most of it I can't really understand. Well, it's in Spanish, so I can't really kind of get to grips with it. But majority of the thing is Amelia finds out what's happened with Ollie, that that he has feelings for her, and she probably admits it back. But when she goes and speaks to him, he's just like, nah. But obviously he's under the control and he doesn't really want to kind of interact. So this kind of reminded me a little bit about, say, Tommy and Kimberly back in the day. But then Ollie obviously joins up with Lord Zed. And as I said previously, when Rangers turn evil, they literally don't care. So Ollie morphed and everything. He goes for it. He attacks. He does everything. And I was just like, God damn, I really like this. So basically all the monsters have been told, hey, return back. And then obviously we get a Megazord fight. And the main hitters all just kind of return back. And that's it. Like, you don't really see about Lord Zed. Now, the one thing that really does kind of irritate me at the end of this episode is that when Ollie wakes up due to the fact of Amelia liking him and holding his hand and stuff, like they're about to kiss, but all their friends are like watching. It's like, we've got to go wash shit, or we've got to go do shit. And I generally just thought, why didn't you let them kiss? Why were you all watching them? And why were you kind of there? Like, you kind of think you'd have pushed the button for the door to shut, and then we, the audience, could have gone, oh, did they kiss? Did they not? So we get a bit more of what's happening at the very end. Zato reads Ollie's mind, and thus therefore he sees everything that's gone on. What Lord Zed said, what Scrozzle is doing, and what was being downloaded. Now I thought it would be like Ranger files or something like that, but it looks like Lord Zed is going to RAFCON. And in the end, he gets the message from it, so then gives it to Scrozzle. So those voice notes that we've had previously have all kind of like been garbled, and they've not been able to put them together. Scrozzle has. He puts it in the prop that we've had. I can't remember what it's called, but because of this right now, he's put everything together. They're able to find where RAFCON is, and now the Rangers are able to find RAFCON. And rather than be like, oh my God, Lord Zed, it's like, let's go to RAFCON. So that was mainly it for the entire episode. Zato and Iron are really like happy about going back to RAFCON, that they found it, and etc. etc. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens. So with all of this going on right now, I cannot wait for it in English. I can't wait for the other episodes, and listening to it internationally is a bit weird, but I kind of like it. I like listening to the French ones when they came out. It just gave something a little bit extra. So my advice is, if you're watching this and stuff like that, I think it's very easy to follow along what's going on. The only things I would say you kind of need the English version is when they start talking about like RAFCON and the stuff where they all where Amelia and Ollie admit that they've got feelings for each other. But in general, that's about it. I really am liking this, and I feel like the entire episodes are doing really, really well. So I kind of wanted to make a video on it, even though I went through the main plots yesterday. So I kind of like it. But I'm going to leave it there. What are your thoughts on this? Are you happy with this? Are you annoyed that it's coming out first? Let me know down below in the comments. And yeah, I am gonna leave it there. Thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you in the next video. Like, favorite, comment, and subscribe. And if I don't see you tomorrow, then I'll see you in a couple of days.
チャンネルをサポートしてくれてありがとうございます。チャンネル登録、高評価お願いします。以下のリンクから商品を入手することができます。